Alright, g'day guys, Matt Preston Built Cruisers, welcome back to another video now. I'm going to start this video off a bit differently. I'm going to say thank you so much guys. You may have seen it, but we actually surpassed 10,000 subscribers, which is awesome. Didn't think we'd get that far, but here we are. And basically I'm here to say thank you, and I've also got the Prado just back here in the background. This might be one of the last times you see these cars together in the same shot, but basically today's video is going to be about the rims and tyres. And if you're wondering why it's been so long since these have been on and I haven't done a video, that's my fault. Basically, I deleted the footage of the video I filmed. So we are going to do the video today, and I'll run through what we got here because you guys technically have no idea what's going on. And yeah, I have used these off-road a lot since then, which is also good. So I can give you my perspective of that, from them off-road as well. But yeah, let's get into it right now. That was awkward. Alright guys, just been to Blackwood Jacobs Tyres. Shout out to Grant and the boys, did an incredible job. Have a look at these. These look so good. Obviously we've got 4 right here. We also got a 5th one just over here for when we have the rear bar that can sit on the back. So obviously they're quite big, but I'm super excited, as you'd imagine, to see these on the car. Alright guys, now to clear up some things straight away. Basically in the Prado, you've been following that for a while. These are 33-inch all-terrains on a 17-inch rim. And then these are 35-inch mud terrains, also on the 17-inch rim, which does mean I could swap these willy-nilly, which is pretty cool because they both have the same stud pattern, which is 6 studs, and it's a 139.7 center bore, center core. So basically, these can just swap, which is pretty cool. The main difference is that these are neg 38s and these are neg 22s. So if I do put these on there, obviously they're going to stick out a bit, and these on there will be too far in if anything. But there's some quick facts for you in case you are wondering what they are like compared to the Prado. And also they're both machined alloyed rims. Obviously these ones are RIH Assaults, and then these are the All Terrain Industries hybrid bead locks. So basically this ring, you can have it as a bead lock or have it as like a showpiece, basically, to keep it legal. And we are just running this as, you know, it's just sort of bolted on. So if I do get pulled over and I can't have them, I can just unbolt it and the rim will still be there underneath, which makes it quite easy to maneuver and do what we need to do with that. All right guys, so All Terrain Industries, they're based in Queensland, and I just thought, yeah, would quickly sort of run through them so you get an idea of what's going on here. Now I will just say quickly at the start, they do have caps that sort of go over the top. But the 60 series being a bit of an older car with these massive sort of centers here, it doesn't really work. So we've sort of just run it like this, which I still think looks fine, looks amazing. If we put these on the Prado, I think those caps would work based on the fact that they have caps on. Now I've just got the website here, you can have a look here. So the main options they sort of offer are these ones here. And you can see here they do just the bead lock itself, but I've got these ones here, so they're on back order. They are very popular, I can confirm that to you. And you can see here that's a positive 20, which we don't want, so we're neg 38 out of stock. There you go. And what is also cool here, you can sort of see it's chaos. There's so many options for customization, so you can do different colored rings, different styles, and choose what you want, which is really cool. So you can see that's black and gold, and you can also obviously see in front of me I went with the sort of same color. I think it looks nice and keeps it pretty simple, I guess, in a sense. But yeah, so these 8.5 wide rims, and then yeah, they're by 17 obviously. And yeah, they fit this 35 in there quite nicely. And then yeah, it's hybrid, so you can use the ring as a real bead lock, like I said before, or you can just run it like I have. Right, features: heat treated A356 aluminium construction. You can see it all in front of there, guys. Center bore 110.15, load rating 1250 kilos. So you can get other rims that do 1500, but obviously I personally think you don't need that much unless you're sort of like an American truck and you're really maxing your GVM. But on this 60 here, we're not doing GVM. These are definitely fine, more than capable for what we need to do. A lifetime structural warranty, so they're pretty serious. And I do think what is pretty cool is that if this ring gets damaged, which it inevitably will, I could just technically buy a new sort of outer ring, even a different color, and I can keep the rim in here that's always sort of protected because it's on the inside, which I think is pretty cool. And then yeah, also the valve, it does say it's recessed, so it's sort of really shoved up in there, obviously to protect it when you go off-road. Compared to some other rims, you'll see they don't do that. They actually stick out fully. and obviously that's going to be the first thing to go off if you're smashing a massive rock or something off-road. Alright guys, now obviously the KENDA tyres here, can't miss them. Obviously one of the most important parts of a full drive is what sort of rubber you put under it, and will be sort of how capable it can and cannot go off-road to an extent. If you get sort of cheap Chinese tyres, you know they're going to be one of the first things to give, aren't they? So these aren't that, which is good. And I've got the sort of website in front of me here, you guys can see this as well. So yeah, these are the Cleaver M/T2s, so this is the second design they've done. And also it's a bit different to most tyres is they've got these like massive, like the sidewalls, instead of being jagged edges, they're like squares, which I think is quite funny. I think it looks good and obviously serves a purpose, but yeah, it's a bit different. Right, I will say as well, some other tyre brands, they have the writings of white, they normally have white, but this actually is red, as you can see in the photo here, which definitely looks a bit different. This one, I will say though, is a different width. I've got a 10.5 inch wide, purely for kind of better fuel and less road drag, and obviously easier to roll and lighter. So a few reasons there, and mainly because it's an old car, it's a bit slow. I didn't want to go the full 12.5 inch wide, which is a standard 35 inch tyre. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to go the 10.5 inch wide. And these didn't actually come with the red writing, how it shows in this picture here. So just got the normal on the outside, which I think looks good. And then yeah, 35 times 10.5, RIMS 17 light truck. So yeah, basically guys, I've gone for the thinner option. So if you look at it from the front or behind, it does look a bit thinner than normal, I guess you could say. Like these look thinner than the 33s on the Prado, which is crazy. But obviously side on like this and stuff, it just looks the exact same. So, and obviously another sort of disadvantage with that as well, obviously, is less tread off road, which is bad if you want to go be really capable. And also the sidewalls don't bulge out as much. So this sort of rim here is going to be more susceptible to damage because it is protruding out almost as far as the top here, which I do think is an important thing to keep in mind of. And then yeah, triple sidewalls, mud plus snow, tubeless, obviously these are pretty standard things, every tyre's got that sort of stuff. And then yeah, basically yeah, this is the most aggressive tyres they do. You can probably tell as well. And down here it even just says things like ejectors for stone, and obviously they've been race tested, off-road tested, and basically they're the flagship tyre they do. So I was very excited to get these because I've had mud trains before, went back to all terrains, but wanted to get the mud trains back, and literally yesterday took these through multiple bog holes and they've held up really well. I wasn't aired down or anything, but yeah, the sidewalls, you can definitely tell they're grabbing as you go through the mud holes and they're pulling it through, which is really nice. So super happy with these so far, obviously just because they're so much bigger, they're going to be more capable than the Prado's all-terrains in mud, because they get quite slippery, I find, whereas these obviously are made for it, so they're loving it. Obviously downside is these will be loud on the road, because they're a mud terrain, but I'm not really at that stage yet just because they're so new. But I'm expecting in like 10, 20,000 kilometers that these will sort of make a bit more of a droning noise on the road. But obviously we'll keep them rotated, keep them healthy, put in the fifth one as well, and we'll obviously try and wear the tread down nice and evenly. Now guys, obviously it's really annoying that I deleted all the footage because I had footage of me sort of seeing them for the first time and installing them on the car, and it was very exciting and seeing the height difference, but I literally lost all that footage. So basically this is the best I can do for now. But basically I am super stoked for these tyres and definitely keen to put some kilometers on them for sure. All right, we'll show you guys. You can see here, that's the back of the 60. If you sort of take a little mental screenshot of how wide that tyre looks, that's being 35. Come over to the Prado, see how that looks wider. So obviously the all-terrain definitely isn't as aggressive. And you can sort of see that as well compared to the mud terrain, but the mud terrain is quite a lot skinnier. And obviously for height, if I come down here roughly, you guys can really see in camera that the right side is a lot higher. And remember, this does have a body lift on the Prado, so that's why the gap above there is so much, whereas on the 60, it's a little bit closer. Now, if you guys are wondering, did it scrub off road? It did, let me show you. So here on the passenger side, it's a bit of damage to be honest, but basically this has rubbed on the fiberglass flare and actually cracked this bit, but it's worse damage. Bit of stone chips here, but underneath you can see that's fully cracked. So still held on strong, but a bit disappointing obviously that's cracked already. But what can you do? You could do a body lift like the old Prado here, you can see that, and that could really help this issue out. But when you've got tyres this big, what do you expect? But super nice. You can see, and that's quite open, and there's nothing for the tyre to hit. Whereas on the Prado, you can see that little brown bit in the chassis, that's where the tyre rubs, and you can see all this has been chopped out to fit the 35s I used to have, and there's no mud flaps. Whereas here, mud flaps, heaps of room, fit straight away, which I do just love about the 60, about the big Land Cruisers Patrols. You can just fit the big tyres straight away, which I do respect. Whereas the rear, same story. On here, no worries, heaps of room. Didn't even hit the flares going off-road. This side, very similar. I did have to take off this bolt here because the 35s did scrub, but besides that, it's actually not too bad. But the 2-inch body lift, no body lift, so it's definitely worth doing a body lift if you're doing big tyres on a sort of a Prado sort of car, but on the 60, don't even need it. Alright guys, so yeah, that's the new update. New wheels and tyres on the 60, loving them, love the combo. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think it's too aggressive, because for a long time I did think they kind of looked a bit aggressive, the mud terrains. But they've grown on me now, but I think if I had my time again, I'd probably go the all-terrains or maybe a more subtle mud terrain. I don't know, they're just a lot, I think. I got really used to the all-terrains on the Prado, but I absolutely love them, and got them from off-road, which is what they're made for, obviously. So super stoked with that. We'll need to do a turbo though, because don't get me wrong, going from 33s to 35s, I've definitely lost a lot of power, obviously, as we expected, and going up hills is the main thing. It's just a bit slow. It does do it, but it's just a bit slow. So I feel like we just get a turbo sorted in this, and then that obviously resolve that issue. Nice, easy, simple, cheap fix, put a turbo in it. But that was always the plan. So super exciting about that. Coming up shortly, we're about to do this big side decals on this, which I think will just absolutely transform it again. And there's just so many little things. Like, we've just had 2 videos of lots of random mods. That's like nothing in what's to come. Like, got to still put the liner in the bonnet with clips all inside there. I actually managed to find some clear side indicators that are LED, that's strobe, compared to these sort of black nightshade ones, which I think look a bit like cheap compared to like sort of nice clear ones. So we've got to change them as well. I need to paint these headlights, paint the rear window, paint the rear vents. There's just so many little 1%ers. Even this, I need to put a new solenoid in it for the vacuum system so the 4-drive works. So right now it's in 2-wheel drive. I've been doing all these off-road tracks in 2-wheel drive, so it'll be great to obviously get that sorted as well. So there's just these little things that we're ticking off one by one. Alternator obviously did that last week, so that's awesome. Battery ran perfectly, just did a Bucks weekend, ran the kettle. I'll put a video of it in now actually, but it ran the kettle basically. It was a huge 2-litre old kettle, ran it like 4 or 5 times, no worries. Didn't even get below 100 amps, and the car didn't drive, and it was getting charged by solar, so it just sat there. So super happy with the 12-volt system, and using that full on. Had about 20 people charging their phones and stuff off it over like 2-3 days, and it just handled it like a beast. So can confirm for you guys that if you are wanting to do a 12-volt system, iTechworld, they sorted me out, really like their stuff, but just the setup alone is just double the capacity of the Prado, and it's doing it. So induction cooking's looking very promising, to be honest. But yeah, I'm super stoked, guys. Let me know if you want to see a video of maybe like the Prado and 60 side-by-side comparison or something, because obviously I've only got that as long as it's here until it gets sold. So basically got limited time with it. But huge thank you for 10K. As like I said before, wouldn't be here without you guys. And yeah, thank you for letting me do what I love, and modifying old 4-wheel drives. It's good fun. And yeah, I'm looking forward to taking this car all around Australia, so that'll be really cool. But until then, thank you for subscribing, thank you for 10K. So you don't need to subscribe anymore, we've already hit the benchmark. And yeah, basically, I'll catch you guys next time on Built Cruisers.